rebar time. The guys are tying rebar this morning, and you can see they pretty much got it all done. They got all the mat done. Like I said, we're using number 4 rebar, which is 1/2 inch, number 6 in the beams, which is 3/4. Now they're breaking up all these bricks. The reason for this brick is they're gonna put these under the rebar like this, and that's going to ensure that the rebar is lifted off the bottom. If you have this rebar laying on the ground, well, it's almost as if you had no rebar, because concrete's not gonna get around it, it's just gonna sit on top of it. You want that rebar to be in the middle of the concrete so that it adds strength. Concrete has compressive strength, but it doesn't have any tensile strength. That's what the rebar is for. So anyway, that's what they're doing this morning. Also, they're gonna do the dowels into the concrete, and you can see they're blowing out all the holes with compressed air just to make sure there's no dust in there, so that the epoxy grabs on really well like it's supposed to. So all is going well. Also, you know how I couldn't make up my mind and I said one day, or the original plan was to build or add on this side, right? And then I decided I should do it over there, because one day I may build a lean-to on this side, which would you know, help us have, you know, store materials or things of that nature. Okay, well, I've been doing this long enough that I know that if the thought even entered my mind that one day I'll do this, I might as well do it now. So we're gonna have piers right here. These are the piers. We're gonna have so we're gonna do a lean-to right here, 24 feet by 50. It's gonna go, this is the old building. It's gonna go past it by 20 feet. Right there, I'm gonna have an overhead door and a walk door. So all that's gonna be covered under roof. So this is gonna be a lean-to. This is where we're gonna keep our material. We're gonna keep a saw. Obviously, we're gonna keep air compressors. Everything's gonna be here. And because that is my backyard over there, I don't wanna see any of this from my house, from my backyard. So right there, we're gonna put a wall to block all this. So again, we're gonna have a 24 by 50 lean-to and a 40 by 50 building. Like I said, the lean-to, it's one of those things that I thought, you know, maybe I'll do it someday, but it's best if I just do it now. That way I can keep my skid steer, like I said, materials, everything's gonna be back here. The other thing I'm going to do, as you can see, I already have this is crushed concrete here, so I got more coming, and then I have that roller over there. And what I'm gonna do is, once this concrete is poured, I'm gonna spread all that dirt, and then I'm gonna spread all the dirt, and then I'm gonna build the road back here, and then I'm gonna put some in here, some of that crushed concrete, and I'm gonna pack it really well with that roller. That way, because we're not gonna have concrete back here, it's just gonna be a lean-to. But we're gonna have, like I said, I'll roll it really well, pack it down real well, and that way there's no mess like we have now. But that's the plan. Lots of work to be done yet, but once I'm done, I like to be done. Once this project is done, hopefully we don't have to build for a while. And if we do have to get bigger, then we're just gonna go somewhere else. Concrete's coming tomorrow, so getting there. All right, so the rebar guys are done. Let me show you what else they did today. So number one, they tied the rebar. Also, the new slab is gonna be higher than the existing slab. It's not really higher, it's at the same level. However, there is a tin lug on that slab, which drops at 1.5 inches. So we have to make the slab 1.5 inches higher. It appears that it's 1.5 inches higher, but it's really not. But anyway, so it's gonna leave this void right there. So we put cedar right here, so we're just gonna pour up against this, and then later on what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill that in with I'm probably just gonna put some closures, foam closures or something, just to keep that gap covered up, keep dirt out of it. You do not want to pour right up against the metal, because the moisture is going to rot it out eventually. So did that. They also got all the dowels into the concrete, and you can see they have epoxy on them, every single one of them. That epoxy is gonna obviously grab onto the to the slab, and when we pour the new concrete, it's gonna grab onto the rebar, and that's gonna keep the two from shifting against each other. So that's what that's for. Also, we got these anchor plates installed. This is what the pipes are going to attach to. So they're done, and out here we have these piers, and this is where the posts for the piers, well actually these are the piers, but this is what the oh man, the posts for the lean-to are gonna go here. They're gonna get an anchor plate and they go there, and of course we have one here, one there, one there, and then like I said, over here we have a beam which is gonna have an entire wall right here. Now the next thing I'm gonna do before we pour is, see, I have an air source right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna run some PEX lines from here. I'm gonna go into concrete, and I'm gonna come up right next to every overhead door, or actually every walk door. There's the overhead door right there. We're gonna have a walk door right here. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put a line right here, air line, and then from there I'm gonna have another air line. Again, I'm gonna go back into the concrete, back up, and then there's gonna be another airline here. Then I'm gonna have another one in that corner, another one in that other corner, and then there's gonna be a big overhead door right there. So right next to that overhead door, I'm gonna have another airline, and then next to this walk door, I'm gonna have another airline. So I'm gonna go into concrete with the airlines. I think that's gonna make things a lot better. Plus, that should get rid of all the water in the air, if there is any, right? It's gonna go down, it's gonna come up, so hopefully the lines will always stay dry. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna put PEX lines in there right now. It's real easy to do it right now. It's super hard to go up and over. I hate doing that. We try to do that in this shop. It's just a nightmare. So we're gonna do that just with PEX. And guess what? If it doesn't work, well, we just cut them off. But I think it'll work. PEX line is rated for 160 psi. We're only running about 120, so it'll be fine. The other thing that I'm going to do, more than likely, see, I have a walk door right here, or a man door, whatever you call them, and then the overhead door starts from there, that way. I'm thinking between the two, I'm gonna put a sink right here. I think it'd be good to have a sink in here. We have a sink in that shop, but I think it's better if we have a sink here, so we don't have to go in the shop every time we need to wash our hands. So sink here, airline, so that, you know, before you go home, you can just blow yourself off and off you go. I'm also gonna plumb some lines to the outside, just like I did there, and that way, if I ever need to air up a tire or anything, it's right there, good to go. So one thing about PEX lines, there's two types of PEX lines. There is the expansion type, and then there's the crimp type. So what that means is, one of them, you push in the fitting and then you crimp around it, and that's how it stays in place. The other one, you actually expand the PEX, and you put in the fitting, and then the memory in the PEX itself will crimp back around the hose or the fitting, and that's how you get your connections. Now, the crimp type, both of them work. The problem is that the crimp type, because the fitting goes inside, the orifice is smaller. So if you have I don't know, let's say 3/4, the orifice is only about 1/2 inch. Whereas the expansion type, if you have a 3/4 hose, you expand it, you put a fitting in there, it's still 3/4. So you don't reduce your flow with the expansion type, but you will with a crimp type. So we're obviously doing the expansion type here. So on these anchor plates, like I said, we have one in the corner, one on that side as well. We have one here. This is for the trusses that are going to go overhead. And then this one right here, we added an extra one for the lean-to. This one goes that way, and that's just for the lean-to. And like I was saying, man. All right, let me tell you what's going on. You guys probably think I'm going blank here. So it's killing me. We're pouring concrete tomorrow, and it's absolutely killing me because I can't do anything. Meaning, when the guys were here, I couldn't really film. When to go get the PEX and everything, I had to find somebody to go get it for me because last night I had 102 fever. Okay, this morning I still didn't feel very good. I took some pills, and here I am. I still don't feel 100%. But here I am. We're gonna get this thing poured, but I'm starting to pick up on my speech that it's not very good. So I'm probably gonna go inside for a little while and take a little break because anyway, long story short is we're gonna get this summer gun poured, and we're gonna put this PEX lines in here, and I'm probably gonna see, that's gonna say I was gonna go get the pipe to do that sink. Let me stop moving because I'm probably gonna fall. Okay, so I was gonna go get the pipe for the sink, but I can't do that. I just don't want to go anywhere where there's people, right? Because I'm afraid to pass on whatever I have to anybody else. So anyway, I'm not feeling great, but doesn't matter. We're gonna get it poured. All right, so there you have it. We got air, water lines, and a drain line for a sink. Tomorrow we pour concrete. The only thing I have left to do is I need to run some ground wires to the rebar so I can ground the building. And other than that, we're good to go. So, all right, till then, I'll see you tomorrow. We're pouring concrete. Bye-bye.